bat supremacy.
Zoger gets bit 100 times by rabies-induced bats and should not be counted.
Oh my god.
I
Who's
took it
right?
as Zoker was going to give people rabies.
No, they're
I
mine.
mean-
What the fuck?
I'd be quiet. That's like a Hannibal super killer power.
Get
Serial
your
killer
own.
superpower.
I throw darts that are like lined with rabies.
Yes.
It's got like
That's what I
bat
was
saliva
thinking.
on it. I specifically have a little bottle feeder that I then put the little nibs on to like the dart tip. No, it's a perfect crime. They'll never know.
This
like, who shot me
rules.
with this tiny baby bottle?
It's
And then, like,
baby
bottle
5 days
pop.
later, they're dead.
Baby bottle pop.
pop.
It's rabies.
That it is.
Brains, you little slut.
Honestly, that does sound like a fucked up serial killer role. Like, you know how they had that guy that was putting cyanide into Pepsi, and then they also had, like, people putting cyanide in, like, Tylenol capsules? This is the next one. People putting rabies in darts.
That happened on our backyard, the Tylenol thing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
That's
why
wild.
some bottles are sealed
They-
now.
They meant rabies and darts. Just
I mean, honestly, we
Dart
could
and
just put a
rabies.
bat in a cannon, and I think it'll still have the same effect.
yeah. I mean, does the animal have to be alive for long? Like,
No, it just has to make a puncture wound and get inside the body, right?
make that happen.
Where's Peter? He has rabies.
Probably.
They put bugs in him. They put bats in him.
And they're gonna put bats in me.
What part of his
oh
body was
my
so
god.
cavernous that they
Oh
just
my
made their
God.
way in?
Head.
Were
Is
we gonna
this
call Peter a
head?
slut or brainless? Which was the option? We went with dumb.
You
Peter's
seeing this shit,
offline.
Alphonse? That's true. Peter's not playing Elden Ring.
Or wow.
His sister's also married, so he can't be helping her with wedding stuff.
Yeah.
He's
That shit's
helping her with
over.
divorce stuff.
Oh my
Oh
God.
God, could you
God,
imagine?
Wayne.
Wayne, you
Actually,
gotta
getting a
stop.
divorce within the first month is super easy. In fact, I think most of them just allow a full annulment instead of a divorce proceeding.
Well, my cousin got. I think it
Annulment?
it lasted like 2 months.
That's such a waste of money. Oh my God.
Such a waste of. It was such a big wedding too. I'm like, why did you
Oh my
even
God.
bother?
So like
A sunk
$30,000
cost
down
fallacy.
the drain.
I've already spent this much money on the wedding. I have to stay with them.
Yeah, at least for like a year, so they can pay it off
Oh,
and not hit me with the bill.
my sweet baby boy.
Peter did never reply to if he was going to be able to make it, I think, as well.
That's no excuse. And then the next thing would be, the next thing you should do is be, I can't make it. Instead of just leaving it unread.
I watched that fucking What's Worse Than a Rapist? A child.
I do think we need Peter for this session because I think we're about to have a meeting and Peter was going to tell us about his dreams.
Yeah, we do need Peter for this. We can't have two of the members gone.
Has anyone messaged them?
We pinged.
I just pinged him.
Does anyone have their cellular device that they could
No.
text them? Just so we can be super obnoxious?
That's what we do for Zoker. Message Kyle. Kyle, help.
I don't message Peter's mom on Discord.
Do you know where your son is right now?
You said he's asleep. Oh, could you wake him up, please? He's got more important things to do.
It's true.
He's not allowed to sleep.
Wednesday,
Only
Wednesday's
one.
not. Thursday's usually the problem day for Peter. Not Wednesday, so.
Yeah, Wednesday's usually no problem. Now, if he doesn't show up in another 15 minutes, we can legally leave class with no penalty.
That's actually not true.
Yeah, you have to wait 10 minutes.
No, none of that's true. I had
Five?
my first day in my stats class. We were waiting and waiting and waiting, and a guy's like, "Oh, I wonder what I guess the teacher's not coming." And people were talking about the 15-minute rule, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we don't have to be here anymore." And that guy was the professor and got up and was talking about how that's not a real thing.
Oh.
What a power move!
I know.
Jesus
I felt
Christ.
so embarrassed. I just had to set my head down, and I was like, I can't ever come to this class again.
Wait, he was just sitting in.
Yeah, he was really young looking, so he just looked like one of us. And he was like, "Man, where's the professor?" And then I was like, "Well, if he doesn't show up, we can leave." And then they were-
Oh, that's embarrassing, Aya. How'd
I
you
was.
recover?
I actually didn't.
I would drop that class so quickly. Damn.
I did drop a class for a very superficial reason. We were supposed to go to the park, but I wasn't familiar with the area and couldn't find the park, so I just never showed up. And then it was like for some science class, and then I dropped it. It's like I just vanished.
Hell
Never came
yeah.
back. But yeah, no. That was the year my dad got super sick, and I had pretty much a mental breakdown in front of every one of my professors because I was taking too many classes and doing too many things.
That'd be enough to break anybody.
And our dad
Oh.
was not very nice to Aya.
No, he was sick and being crazy.
Made her drive through a Chicago snowstorm to bring him hot dogs.
What the fuck?
And then he threw them away right in front of her.
What?
Yeah, I know. He was, I don't know, he was kind of delirious and sick a lot of times, but he like called me and he was like, "I really want hot dogs." And I was like, "Dad, the hospital's like an hour and a half away from me. Also, I have class in the morning. Also, it's a blizzard. Also, the president's in town, so traffic's gonna be really, really shitty." And that was just not a good excuse. And then his friends were calling me, telling me that I was a bad daughter. So
Oh.
I went anyway, and then he threw the hot dogs away, and I flipped out in the hospital room. And the nurse was like, "I think you should come with me." And I was like, "Okay, I can leave."
They're probably used to it too.
Yeah, I know. He's just being an asshole.
Ugh, that's rough.
I was also like 23, 24. I was not. It was too much for me.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Excuse me. So what's the plan for today?
I think that's what we're gonna figure out, because Peter's gonna tell us about that it's the sister vampire.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what the plan was after that. I assume do something about Sister Vampire.
Yeah, I don't either. I have some some like some stuff figured out. But really only the stuff that I had any control over, which is unfortunately not this.
Yeah, it kind of all depended on how the conversation went with the group and if we were gonna do anything about that. No.
Oh, I was given the direction to look more into my opponent and maybe your companion.
Mm-hmm.
I was also gonna look into if we're not doing anything about the vampire lady, I was gonna look more into those doctors, and then depending on how long it takes the theater to be finished, built, and ready to go, then I got a little idea.
You see that thing from Dr. Corbin coming.
Oh, that's not coming for me. That's somebody else's
Is it?
problem. No, you told me that I was able to put my shield up in time.
Mm-hmm.
That's Greg's problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You had I roll.
Well, that wasn't necessarily just for. You did put your shield up in time for something.
What does that mean?
That's ominous. Oh.
I mean, if Dr. Corman wants me to rat Mothman, I'll sing like a little canary. It's this doesn't have to be a violent affair.
No, I'm just teasing. Although, who knows? We may be taking the night off.
Yeah, no word from Peter.
None. Worst case scenario, we could try and reschedule for tomorrow night. Or just move it to next week. Unfortunately, I don't want to do it without Peter because I'm a pretty important character for this evening.
Are we playing the other game this week?
Yes, it'll be Sunday.
Yay!
Yay! Oh, I'm
think
so excited.
Me
I think it's
too.
gonna become a fight. And that's okay.
I don't see how it's not going to be a fight. The situation is incredibly dire across the board.
I do need to look up what that thing can do again.
Peter actually went to bed early so you can play Dawn Trail first thing in the morning.
Mm,
Yeah.
then you
I'm
know
sure.
something's wrong.
Yeah. Peter, are you okay?
Is it out Thursday or is it out Friday?
The servers are down in their entirety today, so I guess it's supposed to be up tomorrow.
Oh shit.
Oh wow.
I think.
I had
I have
like
not.
literally earlier this week completely forgotten it was coming out until I was like watching a Twitch stream while I was at work and they mentioned it. I'm like, wait, what? It's this weekend? And they're like, yeah, if you pre-order it. I'm like, shit, what? Did I pre-order? I don't even remember.
Yeah, it is out if you've pre-ordered it. So I was like, I don't know. I haven't finished the story or anything. So.
I've
Well, that's
not
something we can
played
do.
quite a bit of it. I think I still have 2 more dungeons to go.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
not gotta be there.
No. I also, I mean, obviously, like, I'm not raiding, so I don't feel rushed. Like, I'm just gonna, like,
Yeah, take your time.
enjoy it. not really stress about progression and speed. 14 is just at a point where, like, I did not like Endwalker very much.
No.
And WoW is just, like, mechanically what I want from an MMO. Could they fumble it? Hell yeah, brother. Blizzard fumbles that shit all the time. But right now, game feel good.
I haven't heard anything bad about the War Within mechanics thus far from any of the beta testing.
Yeah, I don't think
Most
so
people
either.
sound pretty happy with it, honestly.
And dude, that comes out in like August, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like,
And
you
I'm
guys come
definitely
back.
raiding and doing mythics in
Right.
that. So
So.
I actually took
Yeah.
off like an entire week of vacation for that week. Because I figure I'll be off like Wednesday. We'll pop
what?
out. We'll kind of do what we did last time, right? Where we come for like 4 days or so.
Yeah.
Then I'll go back. I'll still have vacation days.
Yeah, and you play War because War Within comes back. If you guys leave on Monday, that's when War Within comes out.
Yeah. So, and I obviously am not paying $80 to play it early for a shit show server fest. Whatever the fuck it was.
Me with my almost $200 box.
Well, I mean, but you didn't buy it to play it early, even.
No, I haven't pre-ordered it yet. gotta figure that one out.
I think they said you do get the early access if you bought the physical, so they changed it.
I fucking better. What the hell?
Yeah, I
It's
think
so
they're supposed to send
expensive.
out an email so
The
that way you
I
big
could
don't
actually
one
get it.
think
that I
there's
got, I
any
imagine
way
comes
they
with
could
it.
justify not giving Aya the fucking access. That box is so
Yeah,
expensive.
it wasn't even just like the physical, it was like the special edition one, right?
Right. It's special.
So,
I have not.
I
To be
can't
clear, I have not
imagine them not
pre-ordered it
having
yet,
it.
but
Gotta be.
I feel like I've been given early access in the past, but I can't recall.
Well,
I'm
I
a
give
little slut and I
Peter
like the bonuses, so I
like
bought the
5
early
minutes.
access stuff.
If Peter does not show up in 5 minutes, we're just gonna call it for the evening.
Boo, boozy Peter.
I'm sorry.
Watch Dropout.
Yeah, we could
I
watch.
can do
I
that.
would watch some Dropout. I finished the goblin fight today, or not the goblin fight, their dwarf
The
golem
dwarf.
fight today. It really is just like hitting that adventure zone joy that I felt watching the adventure zone.
Oh, I missed when they were good.
Dropout a D20 is like it kind of feels like the Adventure Zone, but you don't have the burden of Travis, so it's pretty
Yes.
good.
And in all fairness, Travis in the first
Oof.
season was pretty good. I liked Magnus. I will say Amnesty Lodge, while extremely good narratively and everything else, I think Travis had one annoying motherfucker
Which
as
one
his
did he
character.
play?
He played the goddamn fire mage woman
Oh, that's right.
Objectively, one of the most obnoxious characters in there. And you got Justin, absolute Chad, playing a man named Duck Newton, who's
Oh my
52
god,
years
Duck Newton was
old.
so great.
I love
That
Duck
was
Newton.
funny.
And his fucking sword would be like, Duck Newton. I see.
Oh,
God,
I
it
s-
was so good.
I see you're trying to stray from your destiny, Duck Newton.
I think that sword was the best thing in any of those campaigns.
Dude, I love that fucking sword so much. Amnesty's great. It honestly reminds me of like a good Dresden Files story. But the arc before that and everything after that is garbage. I think
I can't remember if I started anything after Amnesty. I was just kind of burnt out.
the
Yeah.
only thing I liked, I just think Griffin is the better DM.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think he's a little more on rails, but I think he knows how to wrangle his brothers in a way that makes a lot of narrative sense.
I mean, on rails is not necessarily a bad thing for
It's
a
not a
podcast
bad thing
either.
for a podcast. Yeah, exactly. Like for your main D&D game, it might kind of suck, but like for a podcast that you got to produce and actually like get people
Have
to watch
narrative sense.
it, yes, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, people talk about half a horse.
I'm sure there's a market for that, but it's probably not most people.
I
Fucking
was watching a
half-horse.
video last night because it was talking about the Critical Role member that's no longer there, but there were some stories beforehand, and the party it was D&D horror stories, and one of the party members they needed some cash, so they were going to start a brothel, and the druid wanted to start a horse brothel because he could do summon animals or whatever the fuck.
No.
And the DM was like, "No, I'm not going to allow that." And it caused a big fight, and the druid player quit the campaign and blocked his friend of 6 years.
That's the hill you want to die
I
on?
mean,
A horse brothel?
because your DM, like, very reasonably was like, I cannot let you open a bestiality whorehouse in the middle of a city. Like, I'm sorry, there are laws and limits to what is allowed. Like, that's a fucking
Huh?
insane idea.
I thought you meant something else. I'm not happy.
I assume that's what he meant by horse brothel.
Yeah,
Like,
he was going to
summon all these mirrors
summon.
for everybody's horse.
He's summoning horses
Oh.
for
Yes.
Mm.
No. We cannot just have the Mr. Hands house.
Jesus Christ.
and ended a friendship over it, which I think is the most wild part of it.
That is
Like-
pretty wild. Like, that's a moment where you're like, man, maybe you were right. I shouldn't do that. I'm sorry for being a freak. Thanks for being my friend.
Nobody's gonna match this.
I
week.
feel like you could have worked that out with your friend. Like, yeah, it was a little awkward, might be. Not like, I'll never talk to you again for not letting me open my horse brothel.
Koji, I swear to God, if you don't let me open a horse brothel, I'll fucking lose my mind.
If you don't,
I'll go the
let-
way of every other female in this group.
you will let me open the Unicorn Fuck Palace in the middle of Centerville, PA.
Oh
Lord. I can't.
I will become unfucking hinged. It's my turn.
And we're gonna spend an entire session looking for horseshoes, bitch. You better believe it.
Why was that a thing too?
Bro, I don't know. That was an entire session of Shay's game. looking
Logistically,
for
any
horseshoes.
blacksmith would be able to do that.
Any one of them. That's all they do in real life now. that
That's
they
just called
just
a
make
farrier.
horseshoes.
Come on. That was a pretty popular profession back
What
in
are
the
you
day.
looking for? Fucking vans out here? What do you want?
Gucci.
I want them Gucci horseshoes.
I want the horseshoes to be G's and C's. I want them to see the little design. go clomping by with my little centaur bod,
Oh
okay?
my god! Like you just take a step. Every step you take spells out Gucci. Like just in like a 5-step line.
Yeah.
5-step.
And Gucci's 5 letters.
Well, the 2 C's have to make the logo,
Oh, I guess that's
so
true.
they take the 1 foot.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense.
I'm just saying. You can have these types of jokes. You just don't have to dedicate a whole fucking 30
Yeah.
minutes to it.
I think it would have been a lot funnier if they were looking for Gucci shoes.
It's like a Fey brand.
That's how I'm like Hexenware and Cthulhu.
Cthulhu.
Yeah. You can absolutely have jokes like this. And I even think in our group a horse brothel may have flown at least a little bit as a goof.
They
But,
could have
like,
just made
fuck.
it a centaur brothel and made it a monster
Yeah,
fucker thing.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
what
I
I
mean-
thought you meant.
Yeah, if it was like
No.
a centaur or even honestly, unicorns are sentient too, so that's still not as bad. But like just
At
a
least this
fucking
one can
horse.
consent.
Yeah, it is a creature that can consent, which still taps the monster fucker vibe.
It's a druid brothel.
No,
Right, but, like, yeah.
it was
Oh
just
my God.
horses.
Could be a druid.
It would
brothel.
also be
I-
a less weird thing if it was just druids that are wild shaped.
That's also fine.
What if? What if they don't know they're druid?
It can't just be
And
normal
that's how
ass
they
horses.
emotionally make it okay. It's
I
just
think it'd be a pretty shit brothel if the workers there couldn't take commands. Saying, like,
Yeah.
he can't take commands unless you have a sugar cube. So hope you got
Oh no.
So once you're done, as aftercare, you do have to brush him.
With those little
Holy
My Little
fuck.
Pony brushes.
Yeah. It's real small. It's gonna take you a long time.
Oh my god. So stupid. Oh my Jesus Christ.
Fucking hearing this shit, Alphonse.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
telling
he's
the
reporting
FBI.
to the authorities right now. clown.
He
He's wearing a wire.
Where?
As soon as we started talking about
Where?
it, he did fucking look up
It's
at
a
me like a
fake-
little cryptid.
He's wearing a fat suit. It's hidden underneath
Alphonse
the
is so
phone.
untrustworthy.
He is. I can't do it. I just can't. My son betrayed me.
He
You know
stole
how
the
you walk into the
EA.
room and shout Alfonso and he jumps? That's because he had his fucking hearing like
Oh.
boosters on and you suddenly just screamed. You blew out
Just
his
talk-
eardrums for a second.
He's talking to his boss about your OCs.
Can't believe my OC's in the new Dragon Age. Dark Sorcerer Emmerich.
That really, it's super fucked up.
Is that really what happened?
Necromancer, specifically.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Emmerich is the new like dark wizard in Dragon Age.
I can't wait
sucks.
for him to be gay too.
Which is funny because I think if you were to play that, you would have made Emmerich as like the character to play like you usually do.
Oh,
Lying
100%.
to self, looking across the room and seeing a duplicate.
Yeah, like, there can only be one of us.
Something is
Just
not
make
quite
yourself
right.
like his brother in your own like OC canon. Or like clone.
I was gonna say Emmerich
Which
does
one's
not
the
do-
original?
He does not do necromancy, but he knows some necromancy in a pinch.
Well, what wizard hasn't done a little
It's
bit
not
of
a it's
necromancy?
not a specialty.
I'm a little
That's a
nervous when
treat.
the new Skyrim comes out and there's vampire lawyer Nicholas, and I'll have to look to Kafka and be like, "Why have you done this?"
Yeah.
How dare you? He would never.
Aku, are you wearing a wire? Tell me the truth.
Alphonse is like, we're gonna be roommates.
Where
I
is
need to
it?
get you in on the business.
Oh, it's Tama then.
Yeah,
That I do suspect.
100%.
Tama's a narc.
She's too lazy for that.
She's ever since she went to the dentist, she she's pissed.
Well, I'm gonna officially say probably no D&D today.
Boo. Peter.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Neither.